Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Hey, greetings and salutations, fellow Earthlings and photography nuts. You know, there's a huge difference between wild-ass speculation and logical and intelligent speculation. So, let's look at some established facts. I went off the known width diameter of Nikon neck straps, which actually have to pass through the triangular split rings, which is what these are, triangular split rings. And then I measured the perceived throat diameter on the new Nikon camera. And you know, it's a lot closer to 65 millimeters than what people have been presuming on the supposed, whether it be a Z mount or not, I don't know, which is assumed to be 55 millimeter throat diameter, the actual opening on the new Z mount. For example, the actual throat diameter is 76 millimeters in total, but the actual throat diameter on the medium format, which is a 645 sensor, on the GFX is a 65 millimeter throat diameter. Nikon's old, or current, if you will, throat diameter is 44 millimeter. Canon actually made the switch ages ago, and people were bitching at Nikon to make the switch to a larger throat diameter long time ago. But Canon's is 54 millimeter. So currently Nikon F-mount is 44 millimeter. The assumed, I have to use the word assumed, throat diameter is 55 millimeter, with the actual flange, not flange distance, but the actual width of the mount at 65 millimeter. From what I've measured from the released images, the leaked images of the Nikon, and let's make a really logical assumption here. That's not an assumption. It's a projection, a conclusion based upon evidence. What is entirely possible, and once again this is speculation, but logical speculation, is that Nikon would be releasing a single new mount which would accommodate a full-frame sensor or a medium format sensor, specifically only one medium format sensor. The same thing that's found in the Pentax Z and the Mamiya Leaf and the horrible junky Hasselblad X1D, and the same sensor found in the Fujifilm GFX. By the way, you can also shoot this in 35 millimeter format. All you have to do is just set it for sensor crop. I forget exactly how many megapixels. I think it's 42 megapixels and full frame crop on my, or is it 36? I think it's 36, full frame crop on my Fujifilm GFX, which is 51 megapixels. So it's entirely and extremely logically possible, because everybody, by the way, I might remind you, has been commenting, and the images are courtesy of Taipei Geek and his blog spot, which I posted an earlier link today, assuming that, making demonstrable observation that that mount is incredibly huge. From Nikon's perspective, it is hyperlogical for sake of efficiency and countless other reasons, which should be obvious to you, that Nikon could be making a, with their new mount, the possibility of you picking a full-frame camera or picking a medium format camera. Not interchangeable. For those of you who think that you can simply remove one sensor like it's going to be a modular camera, I'm not even postulating that. That's an absolute impossibility. The reason for that is the extreme precise leveling involved of the sensor and the shimming of which, and you should see the little sensor shims that actually fall out on some cameras when you take them apart. Absolutely impossible. So I'm not saying it's modular. My point is that with one single mount, Nikon can kill two birds with one stone, in short, by having a full-frame mirrorless and a medium format mirrorless. And that is undeniable. For example, if Fujifilm had chosen, and this is not speculation at all, had chosen, and that's a possibility for Fujifilm, had chosen to use their current GF mount, this particular mount with its medium format sensor inside, to say we're going to produce a full frame mirrorless. They would not have to come out with a new mount. What this would mean is that the full frame lenses could be used on the medium format camera, even though that the same way as exists, and this is really important, I want you all to grasp this, like currently, as is the case, when you stick a crop sensor lens on a full frame Nikon, it goes into DX crop mode. Yes, this has been around for countless years. So if Nikon had one mount, which is basically this size, it could contain a medium format sensor and a full frame sensor. This is not speculation. I mean, it's 1,000% doable. And say, for example, well, I bought a medium format new Nikon mirrorless camera, but I want to use the full frame Z-mount lenses on my Nikon medium format. Then you would slap it on that 50 megapixel sensor, which the next iteration is 100 megapixel. And then I'm really willing to bet that this is exactly what Nikon's doing, and nobody else is reporting on this, is that you would stick the full frame Z-mount lens on the Nikon medium format. I keep hitting this microphone. And then it would go into FX crop mode on the medium format sensor. That would be absolutely the same technology that Nikon has been using now for many, many years. So with one mount, Nikon would be able to easily kill two birds with one stone. That would also let them stick a full-frame sensor in the same mount with an IBIS mech. And by the way, nobody, and it would take me about 30 minutes to explain it to you, but ain't no IBIS mech ever going on a medium format sensor. There are many logistical reasons for this. There are countless hardcore reasons for this. Also moving that huge sensors. There's a lot of reasons. Let me not get into explaining that to you. But that's 1,000% feasible and not any sort of spectacular new technology. The images that I've actually seen of this mount do not indicate that it is 55 millimeters as is being reported on as far as the new Z mount. Because the GFX mount, the throat diameter is 65 millimeters. Like I said, current F mount is 44 millimeter and Canon EF mount is 54 millimeters. I'm telling you, and this is speculation, okay, I'm not saying this is what's happening, but if I were Nikon, that would be an incredibly intelligent, kill two birds with one stone move. Very, very, very intelligent and hyper-logical move on the part of Nikon. No one else is reporting this. This is not fact, this is speculation, obviously so, but it is extremely logical speculation. This makes all the sense in the world why that damn mount is so huge, because it is far larger than is necessary to accommodate those new faster lenses. That is not my opinion, that is a hardcore fact. That mount, as shown from the leaked image, is far larger than is necessary to accommodate those new, already filed patented lenses that Nikon, the 33mm f1 and the 55mm f0.95, I believe, something like that. That mount throat diameter does not have to be that damn large as is shown in that leaked image. I'm willing to bet you that's what Nikon's doing. I'm really willing to bet you that's what they're doing. I could absolutely be wrong, but it makes a lot of sense. A lot. That way they could keep the same mount. They could slap in the medium format, which is a 645 sensor, the same in the Pentax Z, the same in the Mamiya Leaf, the same in the Fujifilm GFX medium format. And you could buy a full-frame version, and you could buy a medium format version, and if you have a medium format version and you would slap one of their new Z-mount full-frame lenses on there, then the sensor, which is currently 50 megapixels, actually Phase 1 is already using the 100 megapixel version of it. So if it goes into FX crop mode on the medium format Nikon mirrorless, then even in FX crop mode, where you're only using the FX size of the medium format 645 sensor, it'd still be way the hell over 50 megapixels. Way the hell over, because current, I can't remember, I should remember this, but I don't remember, so sorry. Full frame crop mode on the GFX. You choose one of the output formats. You can choose square or panoramic. I think it's 36 megapixels, or I think it's 36 megapixels. But on the 100 megapixel, which is already out and used by Phase 1, it's well the hell over 50 megapixels. It's like 62 megapixels, I believe. Somewhere around there. More than the hell enough than anybody would ever need. No one else is reporting on this. I'm just putting this out there as a hyperlogical speculation that Nikon would be doing this. To be honest with you, I'm actually willing to put money on the fact that that is what Nikon's doing. Am I saying that's what they're doing? No, I'm not, so don't jump all over the hell my case, as you are so fond of doing, or at least some people are so fond of doing. But I do know for a fact that the new mount is way too large, unnecessarily large, to merely accommodate for fast lens, because I could already slap f/0.95 lenses on this, this crop sensor mount. And by the way, the Sony E-mount is, this is not my opinion. I actually had people pick on me for this. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? This is even on Wikipedia, damn it. The Sony E-mount, which is the Sony's full frame mount, is de facto a crop sensor mount. It was developed for the Sony NX cameras. That's why when you actually look at that full frame sensor and that little E-mount on Sony, it's like, wow, that sensor is really brushing up the edges of that mount. It's because it's a crop sensor mount. It's not my opinion, that's a fact. I'm willing to bet this is what Nikon's doing. I could certainly be wrong. Yes, this is speculation, so don't jump all over me, okay? Okay. This really is the actually only conclusion I could come to on this, because this is hyperlogical from the perspective of Nikon. So, Nikon! Thanks so much for watching. Bye.